With smart drums, you can easily create drum grooves by dragging drums into a grid to set their complexity and intensity. From the drums section of the homepage, the left-hand logo is Smart Drums. Click on this and it will take you into this fun-looking user interface here. You can choose your drum sound by clicking on where it says Hip Hop Drum Machine. This could also be a different drum because Garageband will remember the last known drum that you've used. And you can then change it from classic studio kit to house drum machine to vintage kit to live rock. I'm going to choose live rock kit. To be able to create a groove, it is very simple and really cool. And what you do is you just quickly and simply drag into the big square in the middle, where on the left hand side you'll have a simple rhythm, more to the right you'll have a more complicated rhythm. The further down you go, it'll be quieter, and the further up to the north you go, it'll be louder. So I'm just going to start with a simple pattern here. And what you can do is you can just tap on each sound to have a listen to what it is before you bring it in. Over here on the left is the power switch. Tap that to stop the drums. I actually quite like that groove. It's pretty cool. So we're going to quickly talk about the other elements on this page before we record our groove. So here underneath you've got the instrument selection where we're just showing you the power on and off to start and stop. And below you've got reset just to bring all the sounds back to normal. Over to the right hand side, just basically start from scratch. And then this dice symbol. Now this dice symbol is basically random grooves. So if you tap the dice button to the left of the grid to try different random grooves, and you can basically tap it multiple times for more variation. So that's good, but I'm quite happy with what we've got. So I'm going to make sure that then our music is back to the beginning. So I'm going to do that. And I'm then going to record. And the beautiful thing about smart drums is you do not need to press play or anything. You just have to make sure that everything is set as you want it to. And as I press record, watch what happens. You can also change the settings. If you think I want to speed things up, you can then go into the settings cog, change the tempo. The time signature, because you've already recorded in 4 beats, you're best off sticking in that. If you haven't recorded any melody, you can change the key signature here. And you can change whether you want to view the time ruler as seconds and minutes, or bars and measures. You can also opt to have a fade out at the end, which will automatically put this in when it exports any audio. And you can then use Notepad to make notes for your music, which when you share that file, other people can read. So it's a really good way to create tutorials. Jam session we'll talk about in a different video where you can connect with other iPads and other devices. And then in advanced, you've got much more functionality that we will talk about again in different videos. No need to worry about those just now. So back into the smart drums then, we've recorded a groove. We might want to change that groove and we think, but what you may want to do is you might think, well, I think there's maybe a little bit too much. Maybe a little bit too much tom. So what we can do is we can then take out the tom. And I like that, so it's a lot better. So what we'll do is we'll drag that out. And we've created almost like a second pattern. So what we can do is with that out, what we can do is we can then ensure that we re-record it and then re-recording it with this out. And that way we've got then 2 patterns, this time not including the tom. So go back to the track ribbon and you'll see then that we have re-recorded that track without the toms in there. And again, if you wanted to record, you either just put it into a new section and then press record, and then we can go back into the drums and then add the toms back in again, which we can do quite easily. Goes around about here. And then record from that section. So we just switch it off and then we can go from here. Just click your cursor here And then when it records, it will record a next section. So that's one way you can easily manage that quite nicely. That is a very basic introduction to using the smart drums in Garageband. If you would like to know a bit more detail, then check out the activity pack. But in the next video, we're going to be looking about how you can use the beat sequencer to be able to create some amazing repeating drum patterns in Garageband for iPad. So have a go of this one. Make sure you have a lot of fun. Let your students have a go, and I will see you in the next video.